Hello everybody, Raven Knight here. So, as you all know, a brand new season of For Honor has just started, and with that season comes a brand new hero skin for Zhi, General Zhi. And along with that hero skin comes special lore for that hero skin, and as I want to do every season, I want to read over that hero skin lore and talk to you guys about what's good about it, what's bad about it, whether it's good at all. That's what we're here to do today. We are here to analyze General Zhi. If you guys have not heard the lore yet, well, first of all, I just read it in a video earlier today. I'll leave that link in the description below. Go check it out. You'll get to hear all about it from me. It's really, really cool. I call it the Serpent General. I think that's a very fitting name for this guy, and you'll understand why when we get to the lore. Or if you don't want to listen to me and you just want to read it for yourself, go to the Ubisoft webpage. I'll leave that link in the description as well, and you can go read it for yourself and get all the information you need from that. But either way, you really should hear this lore. It is really, really good, and I don't say that lightly. I've read a lot of hero skin lore. Some really hits the mark, others does not, but this one was really good. So what's good about it? Let's go ahead and break it down. To understand this lore, we first need to break down what's been going on with the Wu Lin. Y'all know me by now. I'm a big Wu Lin fan, and I've been saying for a while that the Wu Lin need more love, and they really haven't gotten any real love since the big Halloween event from last year. So to understand what's going on with General Zhi, we need to go back to that. We need to go back to that big Halloween event from last year during the Ghost Festival event. So what basically happened was the Wu Lin basically threw this big festival, this big cultural party, and they invite all the other factions to it. And in doing so, the factions do not honor the customs and beliefs and traditions of the Wu Lin, and the Wu Lin knew that because it was all a trap. They wanted the factions to screw up the traditions because it would anger the spirits, and they thought the spirits might be able to exact some sweet, sweet revenge on the people of Heathmore. And it all summoned by Gu Jing, the White Bone Spirit, who tries to trap Heathmore citizens in her little stage play, which, as you know, was interrupted by Sun Wukong, who basically helped save all of Heathmore. What happened to Bai Gu Jing and Sun Wukong? Don't worry about it. Moving on from that, after all that took place, the Wu Lin basically had to scatter. The Wu Lin are now scattered, divided all over the place. A lot of their biggest warlords were defeated or captured. A lot of their leaders are gone. We all know that Gao Lei, the original emperor, is basically gone. He's no longer around. The Wu Lin are a fraction of their former power. Quite frankly, they're an afterthought. No one has said or cared at all for the Wu Lin in ages. In fact, some people kind of forget that they're around. So here comes General Zhi. In the wake of all this bad stuff that's been going on with the Wu Lin, he wants to become the new leader of the Wu Lin. He wants to reunify the Wu Lin and restore their honor. He wants to bring back the former honor, reverence, and fear that used to be synonymous with the Wu Lin name. And to do that, he needs to either bring in those who are going to work with him or get rid of the ones who won't. You know, he's going to unify the Wu Lin. Whether you like it or not, you better get with him or get out of his way. Now, he's not doing it without some kind of skill set. You know, this general is general for a reason. He's ruthless. He's cold-hearted. He is a brilliant tactician, and he knows how to manipulate people and be deceptive. He understands that the art of war is all about deception, so quote Sun Tzu. So he's all about that stuff, and he has a pretty sick weapon to go along with it. He has the Starfall Sword. Now, according to legend, long ago, when the Wu Lin were still living in China, a meteor crashed between two opposing armies, and when they went to go check out the meteor, it brought peace to the factions because they thought the heavens themselves had brought an end to our conflict, and they took the metal from that meteor and forged it into this unique sword called the Starfall Sword. And ever since, anytime a general or leader wanted to bring peace, they would gift this sword to the other person to basically demonstrate, I'm putting this between us, we're going to be friends, we're going to work things out, I'm done with conflict, you know? That's kind of the purpose of the Starfall Sword. So our lore opens up with General Zhi approaching this rival general named General Shun and basically saying, hey man, I brought with me the Starfall Sword. I've had it for a while and I want to bring peace between the two of us, so I'm offering the sword. Now General Shun does not accept it. He basically says, dude, what do you think you're doing? You really think we're going to have peace because of this? You really think this is enough to bring peace between us? Look, I know what's going on. And then Shun kind of reveals what General Zhi, our main character, has been doing. Ever since the events with the White Bone Spirit and Sun Wukong and all that, he managed to slip away from all that. He wasn't there for all of that happened, so that gave him time to rally his forces, start building his power. Any lost or destitute Wu Lin, anyone that had lost their leader, they came to General Zhi. He brought them in. He's been expanding and consolidating his power. But General Shun, he's like, whatever, man. You really think that this matters to me? You got lucky. There's nothing special about you, dude. There is nothing special about you. We're better than you. I don't accept your offer of peace. What are you even doing here? The catch is, General Zhi knew that would happen. Zhi knew that Shun would never accept it. It was all a ruse to bring him in. So Zhi basically reveals, look, dude, I didn't really bring you here to save you or to save our people or to bring peace. No. I came here to bring greatness back to our name. And you're in the way. And so he kills General Shun and his followers pretty systematically, and then reveals that his blade, the Starfall Sword, has another name, a darker name, the Serpent Blade, revealing that this sword has a much more twisted and dark origin to it. Now, they don't fully reveal what that origin is, but we can draw some conclusions, and we'll get to that in a minute. After he kills General Shun, he steps outside, and his guard reveals, hey man, so Astria got the message. She's on her way. And it's revealed that General Zhi is about to do the same thing. He is willing to offer an alliance with Horkos. General Zhi basically says to himself, you know, I want to unify the Wu Lin, but I want to make sure that I can consolidate that power. Horkos is on their way to conquering Heathmoor. Astria really just needs one more win. She just needs one more good push to win all of Heathmoor. If I offer my services in exchange for full control of the Wu Lin, I might be able to get one over on old Astria. But once I have all the Wu Lin at my beck and call, maybe I can do something of my own. And we don't know what that is yet. But Astria herself doesn't quite trust him, as Astria reveals. Astria goes, I don't fully trust this guy, but if I have all the Wu Lin backing me up, then my victory's pretty much assured. So she's showing up to take part in this ceremony, and General Zhi thinks, excellent. So let me be clear about this lore. This is top tier. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sometimes the most simple approach can be the best approach. No, we don't get any huge bombastic battles. We don't see a lot of all the things he did to obtain his status as general. We don't even see how he gained the Starfall Sword. We just kind of get hints about it. But what I think is so unique is not just General Zhi in this, who I think is awesome, but the sword itself. I like that it has a dual name, the Starfall Sword and the Serpent Sword. Now, we need to understand something. In Western folklore, serpents carry an evil connotation. We think of snakes as evil. In the East, snakes are cunning. They're wise. They're symbols of wisdom. They can be symbols of intelligence. So this kind of has a double meaning. But think about the term starfall. Now, you might think, ooh, that sounds cool. What happens when a star falls? It's the end of something great. It's the end of something beautiful. Something once heavenly and austere has fallen from grace. The Starfall Sword also has a double meaning. Sure, it's a really symbolic, cool, badass sword, but it implies that something great just came to an end. Think about it. If the whole lore is this sword is passed on to create peace, what if it's not passed on? What if it's used as a betrayal method? A way to say, hey, I'm coming bearing peace only for the sword to take the blood of someone else. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's what I took from it. The idea that this sword is used by people to basically end conflict by killing someone. Someone dies on the blade of this sword to bring it into the conflict. And I think that's a very, very creative way to approach this sword. It shows both, it shows a great double meaning to this that really ties into the idea of Chinese poetry, of Eastern poetry, this double meaning to it. It's really, really good. I love the way that was approached. But then let's look at General Zhi himself. General Zhi himself is a fascinating character. On the one hand, you could look at what he's doing is good. Like, you know, he wants to unify the Wu Lin. He wants to rebuild his faction. He wants honor to return to his people. You know, bring great honor to us all, as the Mulan line goes, you know, and that's cool. But it is all at the behest of his own will. He doesn't want to work with General Shun. He never expected General Shun to seriously accept his proposal. He knew General Shun would reject him, and he planned to kill him from the start. In fact, when you think about it, how did he get the sword in the first place? Maybe he betrayed someone. Maybe someone tried to offer the sword to him and he killed them to get the sword. This guy is underhanded and crafty, but here's what I love about it. Here's what I love about this guy. He's a lot like Astria, but with slight differences. See, here's the thing. One of my biggest problems with Horkos and Astria for the longest time is that they're the only villains. They're the only bad guys. Here we have the potential of a person being a new bad guy, and even Astria's wary of him. She knows he could be a threat if she doesn't handle him carefully. But his viewpoint is very similar to hers. Remember how she opens the opening when she says, it is a gift, the sword, a gift given in times of peace. Peace, the great lie. She sees peace as a lie. So she already knows that he's coming saying, I'm offering peace with this sword, and she's already knowing that's a lie. And think about General Zhi. He thinks the exact same way. He thinks in the exact same manner. Peace is a lie. I didn't come here actually offering peace. I'm going to stab you in the back. And that's probably what he's planning to do with Astria. He's got a greater plan that's going beyond Horkos. Maybe he plans to kill Astria, take control of Horkos' resources, and use that to bolster the Wulin. Or he could use it as a show of force to basically say, here's how strong the Wulin are. We took out Horkos, who even Chimera couldn't take on. I don't know. And that's what I love about it. It is very, very cool that we're getting to see this warrior kind of reveal himself slowly like a cunning serpent. Oh, it's really, really well done. And I really like the idea. Like, it's kind of funny. I think it's a unique way to show the deceptiveness of a warrior. And I think this was a very clever way to approach it. Now, General Zhi also says a few other things that I think are very interesting. He says very clearly, Knights, Vikings, Samurai, that's all anyone talks about. Here in Heathmoor, we Wulin are an afterthought. And isn't that kind of an echo of what a lot of us, including myself, have been saying for a very long time? The Wulin have been pretty much forgotten by the lore. The devs don't know what to do with the Wulin. Like, they barely get mentioned. Here's General Zhi basically laying that out. Yeah, we've kind of been forgotten. No one cares about us anymore. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm ready for y'all to take center stage and actually do something. I think this is really cool. But the question is, will he be successful? Will General Zhi actually unite the Wulin? Or will there be members of the Wulin who don't want to side with him? Will there be members of the Wulin who want to go their own way? Because here's the thing, you can only get so far by force. You can only get so far by forcing people to do what you want. So what will General Zhi do with those who don't want to join him? Well, he's already demonstrated that with General Shun. He kills them. He removes them. And I think that is, again, very underhanded, very cold-hearted. And Astria is looking, it's funny, I really could see Astria looking at this guy as, man, I can't trust this guy. He's nothing but a power-hungry, egotistical warmonger. And then someone just rolls a mirror in front of her and goes, look familiar? And I mean that in the best way. It is nice to see Astria actually confront someone who's kind of making her look in a mirror. Astria is wary of this guy because she sees herself in this guy, and she knows how untrustworthy she herself is, and therefore knows how untrustworthy this guy is. So, I already like that. I like the fact that General Zhi is actually making Astria a little nervous. I think that's really cool, and it's nice to finally see someone do that. Me and Lark have been saying for a while, what Horkos really needs right now, what Horkos really needs is an L. They need a serious L. As the lore master Raphael himself said during the Warriors Den, Horkos has been getting W after W after W. They've been winning constantly. It's time for them to suffer an L. And if General Zhi is the one to deliver that L, I will be very happy. I'll be very happy, especially if it's from an underhanded tactic that Astria herself would use. That's pretty classic. Now, okay, before we leave, I do want to answer this question. Do I actually think that Astria would use that kind of tactic? Yes and no. On the one hand, Astria is egotistical and has a heavy belief in war. But at the same time, I think she does have a more direct approach to war. She is all about directly going in and dealing with the problem up front. Whereas General Zhi is manipulative. He doesn't make a move until he knows all the cards are in his favor. Astria doesn't play quite that way. Astria is full-on throw everything at the problem and destroy it with full force. General Zhi is wait until I know I've got the full advantage before I strike. Very different approaches to war. It is a wolf versus a serpent. The serpent waits until the opportunity is correct. The wolf just overpowers with the strength of its pack. So I think that you're looking at two very different methods of approaching villainy, and I think both are really, really creative. General Zhi brings something kind of creative to the game that we haven't seen in a little while, and I think that's really good. And also, let me just be clear, his design is great. I heard a couple people saying earlier, oh, he just looks like a regular Zhan Hu hero skin. I'm like, nah, it doesn't. I really like a lot of what they've done with him. The design of the whole snake motif, the purple coloring, the floating tassel behind his head, all of it looks really, really good. I think that this is a really cool hero skin, and the lore behind it is top tier. I think they did a very, very good job with this one. And now that we've completed all hero skins that we know of for the year, coming up soon, I will do a ranking of the hero skins for this year, and we will see who came out on top, and then later we'll rank all the hero skins that have been given to us so far. So, hey guys, look forward to that. Really excited for it. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys will be getting the new hero skin. Would love to see more of y'all get it. And as always, I will see you in my next video. Take care.